morning, everyone. My report for today is all about The Prince, an exhortation to liberate from barbarians by Niccolo Machiavelli from 1469 to 1527. But before we discuss, let me introduce first to you a few information about Niccolo. So, Niccolo di Bernardo di Machiavelli was an Italian diplomat, philosopher, politician, historian, and writer who lived during the Renaissance. He is also best known for his political treatise, The Prince, written about 1513. He is often been called the father of modern political philosophy and political issue. So, through his name, uh, in many quarters, even today, has an evil savor. Machiavelli is after Plato and Aristotle, a pioneer in political science. So, let me read to you this short story about Niccolo, the prince, written by Niccolo. So, he came at the time when all Europe was breaking out in a rush of new national consciousness, and the new nation France, Spain, England were fledging their wings. His book, The Prince, is addressed to the head of the House of the Medici, the rulers of Florence. He defines the term sovereignty and asserts the doctrine that state then the prince can do wrong. His book therefore has been regarded as a defense of royal absolutism. What he is asserting is the unfettered sovereignty of a state. The extract that follows from its last chapter, addressed to the chief of the Medici, is a call to free Florence and Italy from the foreign yoke. It is the cry of an Italian pioneer. Patriote. So, having carefully considered the subject of the above discourses, and wondering within myself whether the present time were propitious to a new prince, whether there were the elements that would give an opportunity to a wise and virtuous one to introduce a new order of things which would do honor to him and good to the people of this country. It appears to me that so many things concord to favor a new prince that I never knew in a time more fit than the present. And if, as I said, it was necessary that the people of Israel should be captive so as to make manifest the ability of Moses, the Medes so as Cyrus, and that the Persians should be oppressed by discovered greatness of the soul of Athenians should be dispersed to capabilities of Theseus. Then at the present time, in order to discover the virtue of an Italian spirit, it was necessary that Italy should be reduced to the extremity she is now, in that she would be more insolent than the Hebrews, more oppressed than the Persians, more scattered than Athenians, without head, without order, beaten, despoiled, turned overrun, and to have endured every king of desolation. So, to, sim- to summary, the Prince is extended analysis of how to acquire and maintain political power. It includes 26 chapters and an opening dedication to Lorenzo de' Medici. The dedication declares Machiavelli's intention to discuss in plain language the conduct of great men and the principle of the princely government. So, upon reading came up with the theme that statesmanship and warcraft. Machiavelli believes that good laws follow naturally from a good military. Yes, it is true. So, also goodwill and hatred. To remain in power, a prince must avoid the hatred of his people. Free will, virtue. Okay, so the prince must be very patient, because I believe that patience is a virtue. Also, the prince must know the human nature to become a better prince on how he handled his people. So, the main one of the main point of the prince is to express and the secret that the fox tells the little prince. It is only with the hearts that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible on I. So, Machiavelli wrote The Prince to serve as a handbook for rules, and he claims explicitly throughout the work that he is not interested in talking about ideal republic or imaginary utopias as many of his predecessors had done. So, we have 5 lessons that we can learn from The Prince. Number 1 is be true to yourself. The Prince made sure his music could never get boxed into one niche or one genre so that he would never be defined as anything but himself. A strong spirit transcends the rules. Practice and perfection, ignore the naysayers, and build character. Okay, everyone, that's the end of my report about the prince. Hope you understand. Thank you for listening.